The City Council voted to hire the firm, the Mercer Group. The Mercer Group is a nationwide company. Now we're going to be dealing with Gary Holland, who's out of their Stillwater, Oklahoma office. Basically, we've hired them to do a couple of things. One, help us develop a profile for the city manager, which they'll do by interviewing all of us on the council, department heads here in the city management, and people from the city itself, citizens that we think that they should talk to. The profile helps keep us all on track as to, one, it helps us define the person that we're looking for, what those characteristics are, what those qualifications are, and by defining this profile, putting it down on paper, it helps us keep a goal in mind when we're interviewing candidates and looking at candidates and saying, here's what we're looking for. Does this person meet these things that we've put down as to what we think are important for those candidates? In talking with Chester, I believe it was updated when Chester came, when they were trying to hire him. Part of what I see is why it's so important is the changes that have taken place in Cleburne over the past 10 years and the things that we're looking at going forward here in the next 4 or 5 years. So that's the reason I think it's very important we get this profile updated so that we understand the type of person we want and the things that are going to be important for us going forward the next 4 or 5 years. Gary Holland, the representative from the Mercer Group, actually works most of his time in Texas. Most of his searches, the references that I called for him were all in Texas, and the work that he had done in Texas. I think one of the things that swayed a lot of the councilmen were the number of repeats. And what I mean by that is the cities that went back to them to help them with a second, third, and fourth search for different candidates within their city government. I think it's Dale keeping to his convictions. He and I talked about it quite a bit. At first, he was on board for getting a search firm, and he said as he thought about it, he felt like that we had the right person. And I don't necessarily disagree with him. I just, as I explained to him, I felt like that it was our responsibility to make sure we had the right person, and by doing that, by going out and conducting a search and comparing outside candidates to internal candidates, that we're absolutely sure we've got the right person. I've had the attorney reviewing the contracts, and we'll get those signed for them this week if he signs off on everything. And we are scheduling, at this point in time, we're scheduling interviews after the first of the year. Mr. Holland is using the city secretary as his contact person. And he's arranging interviews with all the council members and the staff, and we'll start that process. So I don't know exact time frame, but hopefully by the middle of January we'll be well on our way to conducting all the interviews and getting the profile developed and put together. I'd just like everybody to be praying for the council and for the wisdom to do everything that we need to do to guide this city along, and I appreciate their prayers. I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and let's get started off with 2011 the right way.